Hey guys, it's Steve. I go by Stever82 on a lot of different platforms. And I just wanted to say a big thank you to the Splinterlands community. The last couple weeks in Splinterlands has been really fun. And my last video that I posted on 3Speak got voted up to one of my highest payouts that I've had. It was 53.16. If you don't know about Hive and 3Speak, I don't get all of that. 3Speak gets a little bit, and so does everyone that voted for it. And that's one of the fun parts about Hive is the social aspect. And it's also probably why so many Splinterlands players are so giving, and we do these things. And I give away 1,000 DEC in my video I do every week. This one just paid out yesterday, so I have 1,000 DEC to do to the people who decided to watch it and post here on Hive. You can post through Leo Finance, Peak D, a lot of different platforms that I'm not thinking of. You'll be able to find my posts, anything that connects to Hive. I know I probably forgot a few big ones, but I don't want to make this video too long, so we're just going to go ahead and get into what I'm doing this week for this video that you'll have to comment on. Now, I'm going to be going over the 6 newest rule sets. They're not... 3 of them are very old, but I've never talked about them, and then 3 of them are relatively new and are just getting turned on. And then we're going to also touch base on the new legendary summoner. These are all things I usually like to talk about. I've done a lot of card reviews. If you look through my entire blog, you might be able to find them all. And I've done a lot of reviews of all the different rule sets to try to help players know how to win. If you'd like me to do a post maybe with linking to all of those, you guys can mention it, and I'll try to dig them all up and put them in a more recent post. I've done that before, so I'll just have to find that one and then add this in and a few other things. So the first thing we're going to do, though, is give away some DEC. So here's the people who made a qualifying comment. I added you all in, and then I did a shuffle. And so we'll do a spin, and this is kind of fun because I don't usually post who wins this, so they don't really know unless they pay attention. Wow, that's insane. Stock Jockey comes in with the second win in a row. And I don't love that happened, and it's absolutely amazing that he won twice in a row. But that's wild. So congratulations, man. So let's go ahead and send you your DEC. As you can see, I'm kind of low. This is kind of hinting to you guys that I'm going to do a little combine of my... legendary cards here. So 1,000 DEC to my buddy Stock Jockey. And that'll get sent off. And then we'll get to talking about the rule sets, and we'll come back to the legendary card. Again, your comment just has to show me you watched a little bit of the video, or at least a very good fake comment to show that you might have watched some of the video. And then you can win the 1,000 DEC I give away every week. So, the first rule sets I want to talk about, they've been out for a little while and they've been pretty fun, and it's Infinite Trample, Noxus Fumes, and Equal Opportunity to every single monster. So these ones are all pretty fun. I've only played Stampede a few times, and I've had some weird mana cap rules that have messed that one up. That's one pointer I could give to the Splinterlands team if they can. Don't put Stampede rule set in a... you can only use monsters under 4, or you only have 12 mana. It seems like it should be used for bigger mana matches, and certainly I don't know any Stampede monsters that cost under 4. So when that one's combined with that other one, it is kind of funny. You go, well, that was stupid. Nobody has trample that mana cost, but it is really a real unique rule set. You're really just going to be looking to use some of the different trample monsters. There's obviously Rexy, there's the Sacred Unicorn, there's the Undead Rex now for the Death Team, and there's also the Dwarf. He has trample, and the new legendary monster for the Fire Team. I'm actually forgetting his name, so I'm going to do a quick... I'm going to take that off of Summoners. There we go. Magnor. See, he has trample, so that's a really good one to use. So this is a really strong card if you're in really, really high mana for sure to use in that set. And you're just trying to put a really good trample monster up in the front. You also kind of want to go for speed because attacking fast is going to be very important in that match. Other than that, you just want to build kind of a normal lineup that would be strong for that team, but maybe with a little bit more emphasis on speed and maybe a few guys that are going to attack before your trample monster. If you can get somebody who's fast with shatter, or a way to get their health lower or get their armor gone so that you can deliver that blow and possibly mow through an entire team, if you had the right setup, you want to try to set up that. It's something we alpha players, we saw that in the past and we were like, oh my god, I can't believe that just happened to me. One monster wiped out my whole team. They changed it, they brought it back now just for a little bit of fun. You only run into it sometimes, so that's cool. So Noxus Fumes, everybody gets poison. This one's kind of interesting. You can play like Llama to have cleanse, and that's kind of a good move. And then that'll protect you from having the poisons, and you can try to play a lot of healing, self-healing monsters. Because of that, playing any cards that prevent healing is kind of an interesting mode here. So you can obviously use right here, Mimosa, and then they can't heal at all, but that doesn't work so good if they do run Llama, because then Llama has the cleanse. So you're really looking for self-healing monsters with cleanse so that you can try to live. Another tactic you can do if healing is outlawed, or if there's some other rule set that's messing up that strategy, is just go for very, very high HP monsters and monsters with scavenge. With poison going off, people are going to be dropping every single round, and you can even throw a chicken out there on the board so that your scavenge monsters go ahead and get some extra HP when those little guys just get knocked off in the beginning. Even if they're only going to help you for a little while, if they give you 2 to 3 life to your scavenge monster, that's one extra turn that one's on the board. Sometimes in those rule sets, it's just about keeping people on the board. The opportunity monster mode, equal opportunity, I remember the first couple times I played this, because I've only seen opportunity on melee monsters. For some reason, I would play all melee monsters. Did any of you do that? Let me know. That's a mistake, right? Opportunity on a mage is amazing. The lowest HP, and unless they have void armor, you're going to take out that HP. Blast is also very interesting to use. So Yodin Zaku in this mode with archers or mages or melee monsters. Realistically here, I kind of think you just kind of want to look at your mana set and use a very fast team. Speed is going to be key in this mode, and also possibly you could try armor as well, because playing an armor team that also maybe you've built some speed into, it means you may be able to attack first, take out some of their people, and then you could have one annoying little monster that has a decent amount of armor, and they're going to take a while to get through him. So those are just some of the pointers for these first couple of rule sets. I'm trying to keep this video a little shorter, so let's jump to the next 3 that just came out. Now, I actually haven't played in these ones, but it sounds kind of interesting. I need to do some more actual playing this week, and that way I can run into these. And I was playing a little bit, and I just never ran into them. I think there was a delay in actually activating them. So explosive weaponry, I've heard in the AMA that this one was almost introduced as a little bit of a counter to the power of Zaku. Because obviously once you give everybody blast, then Zaku no longer is even going to be played in that match, because you'd rather play a smaller mana monster or play one of the other teams that has plus magic or lower magic, or do something else with your summoner ability, because you don't need to give blast anymore. It's also going to make the Prince Raiden teams absolutely ridiculous in that mode. So that's what you're going to probably run into quite a bit. Selena teams would also be very strong. And magic teams, either of the magic summoners that give the plus magic and the plus speed, the legendary one, they're all going to be really strong in that mode. You're really going to be looking for Mana Cup again, and for whatever cards you have best to fit that rule set. But you're going to be looking for guys that hit hard and hit fast. If everybody's doing splash damage, monsters are going to be dying fast. In a lot of these modes, speed is so key. Speed is one of the most overlooked things in the game sometimes. If you have the most speed in a game, and you're going to get off 3 attacks or 2 attacks before your opponent gets off an attack, and everybody has doing blast damage, then you're really got a good chance of wiping out a good amount of your opponent's board before they even have a chance to attack you. Now, Holy Protection, where all monsters get Divine Shield, is a very interesting mode. So Divine Shield is a very annoying skill to run into, and there's a summoner that gives this ability, but I don't think it gets played very often, or just not a lot of people have the dice summoners at high level yet. So this is kind of an interesting mode because it would allow you to play some cards that are maybe a little bit more squishy, and that's what I suggest you play around with. Think about the Exploding Dwarf with a Divine Shield now. He isn't going to die instantly because he attacks a monster with thorns, or he isn't going to be taken out instantly by some fast archer that is going to attack him before he gets to attack. So you can play some of these cards that would normally not be that good and give them a Divine Shield. You can also play a tank that is already really difficult to kill and one that reincarnates using the life team, because they already do this, and you could be talking about a guy who they just cannot get rid of, has a Divine Shield. When they finally get rid of him, you bring him back, he has another Divine Shield, he has a whole bunch of armor, then he gets healed right back up. The combos here are just going to be kind of ridiculous. It's going to be fun to see. I also want to see what happens when you get Divine Shield onto some of the other teams, because that's really only been for the life team, to my knowledge. There might be a couple other monsters that have it on some of the other teams, but it's predominantly on life. So it'll be interesting to see how that can play into maybe some of the guys on some of the other teams, and I really want to play with that one a little bit more, but it sounds like a lot of fun. After that, we got Spreading Fury. I think Enrage is also a skill that gets overlooked in the game. Anytime your monster has to take a hit before they get this ability, and it's kind of a weird thing. I've never liked that if you get hit and healed it goes away. I don't know if that would be too hard to program to keep it in place, but it kind of feels like you shouldn't be punished because you played healing behind a monster with the Enrage ability. That once they get hit, they should be enraged. They should be enraged because they got hit, and not all of a sudden calm down because they had a healer in the back row help them out. So that's another tweak I'd like to see to an ability that might make it used a little bit more often, because there's nothing worse than seeing your monster get enraged, think he's about to attack and kill them, have your healer proc before him, slow him down, and now the guy you thought he was going to kill gets an attack off that he wouldn't have got off. So that's all kind of an interesting thing. Now we're going to go to the 10th airdrop card that we had all been waiting for, and it was the Dragon Summoner, and it's a cat. That's a little weird, right? But Byzantine Kitty is a very dedicated player. He is, or she, I actually don't know, but Byzantine is a great player. I am very, very fearful whenever I run into Byzantine on the battlefield. I have lost many a tournament. Some of the times where I've played in some of the gamer credit ones, and I make it so far, and then I see that battle in front of me, and I'm just like, because I know whatever the absolute best lineup that you can theoretically have, it's going to be on the board. So you have to be able to counter that to win. And sometimes I think I do it, but I don't have the cards leveled up or something else, and I just lose. But now we've got a awesome new summoner card for the Dragon team. I did go ahead and purchase this one because I only got one in the airdrop. Hopefully you got luckier than me. I think anytime you have a summoner with the healing ability and the ability to make it so your monsters can't miss and give you +2 speed, that is definitely something that is going to be able to be used to your advantage on the Dragon team. The Dragon team does have some cards that are a little bit slow. I'm thinking of the Red Dragon, and they have some other ones that are only like 3. They do have some very, very fast cards that when you give them this extra +2 speed from the summoner are going to be guaranteed to be very, very hard to hit. You're talking about guys that are going to be pushing 8 or 9 speed if you have some other boosts. Obviously, that's assuming your opponent doesn't have any debuffs, but that's pretty cool. But also, this one is actually a fun card to use. I tried it out in the Noxus Fumes mode, and having a summoner healer to help counteract that poison on top of is really something that's kind of cool. So I really had a goal through this set to make sure I picked up all the level 7 summoners in the Untamed set. I made the mistake of not doing that in the beta set and buying those 5-cost legendary summoners when they came out. I thought I would get them later, or they'd get cheaper, or something would happen, and I was maybe not realizing that wasn't going to happen. With, I know it's still a year out or more, but there's going to be a day where those guys are not going to be able to be played in the modern format of the game. And the level 7 legendary summoners are going to be the kings of the mountain, with the level 3 summoners as the other ones. Now, obviously, Chaos Legion may introduce some level 5 legendaries to compete with the level 7 legendaries. That would make sense to me to kind of bring some balance back into the game, but it'll be a whole new set. So I've moved past, as I am a collector who is, got a lot of cards, but not all of them, and certainly not all of them at the highest level. I've now moved away from buying alpha and beta cards. I'm not going to be purchasing them any longer. And I'm only going to be purchasing Untamed. I'm going to be aiming to max that set out, which will hopefully happen before the pack drops get too bad. I know one of the things I've been doing is using the Wax Marketplace to sell some land that I had extra, and to kind of play with selling some of my legendary cards over there that went for a little bit more money. That's kind of what the last video was about, and it is I'm going ahead and I'm using those profits to come back here and snag up all the cheap cards that people are selling on the Splinterlands blockchain. And I'll continue to do that till more people catch on to what's going on, and you don't see rare cards going for under a dime, because I can go sell almost any rare card on Wax for 10 cents, which is like half a Wax, and somebody will usually grab it eventually, because to them it's only half a Wax. We've maybe been living too long in the Hive bear market in some of our minds as players. Well, that's coming to an end now, with Hive going up to 50 cents and maybe even going higher. I saw Steam pop off to like 80 cents, and I might be going ahead and finally selling all my Steam. I'm one of the few people that didn't do that when the first split happened. I've been posting over there with a little follow group, but I've angered some guy named Bullion Stacker who's downvoting all of my posts, and I never was able to find any kind of community over there. So a little teaser for anyone that hung out near the end. I think I will be powering down all of my Steam accounts, and I will be taking some of that money and putting it into Hive, and I will be taking some of that money and putting it into the Binance Smart Chain, specifically the Cub Finance Leo project. So I was getting okay returns over there just with curating and following people and being in a little vote circle, but it doesn't really compare to the kind of returns I'm seeing from actually being part of a community over here on Hive. And I finally am just gonna kiss that one goodbye. I'm just gonna find some time to actually do the power downs, do all the transfers, figure that all out, and it'll be a little bit weird. Steam got me into crypto. I was hoping maybe there'd be something good to come from all that stuff that happened, and 2 amazing platforms to share my content on. But in the end, Hive is obviously where I should be, because there's more going on here and more people I know, and a community that does support me. So thank you very much, everyone. I'm going to be ending the video here. I kept it under 20 minutes. I'm trying to keep them under 15, so I only went up over a tiny bit. The last thing we're going to do really quickly is we are going to combine my kitties. So I need 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to get that max level. And that's going to keep me on pace to having all the max level summoners for the Untamed series in the level 7s. This is going a little slower than I expected. Too much going on, but there we go. So you will now see me on the battlefield occasionally with this card, or you will see my bot. I know I wish I could play more, but I've been making a lot more content. But there they are, the crowning jewel of my collection, my level 7 legendary summoners, and I'm proud to have them. And I will be looking forward to seeing what the next card is. It should be something different, because we have all of the teams represented, right? Fire, water, earth, life, death, dragon. Maybe a neutral. Do we get a neutral 7-cost legendary summoners? Give me your best guess. But that's going to be it. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.